Hello, I'm Thunderflare, Brilliant Analysis Extraordinaire, and wow, Derringdo was a very good episode. Better than I thought it would be. I wasn't expecting it to be dreadful, just not as good as it ended up being. Wow, yeah, it's a really good one. Alright, it starts off with Rainbow Dash nerding out because she knows when the next Derringdo book is coming out. And it's actually really funny to see her geek out over something. You know, she's usually the cool pony, but she's really losing it here. And it's very funny, especially when she just goes back and forth with Twilight over the books. They talk about information that nobody else understands, but we know they're both huge nerds for these books, and they just love them, and that it makes sense to them, and it's very well crafted, and maybe a bit of commentary on the fan base of this show. And the conflict arises when Rainbow Dash finds out the book is being delayed. There could be any number of reasons for that, but she wants the book to be out as soon as possible, so she asks Twilight to find out where AK Yearling is so that they can help her out and make sure she can get the book out as quickly as possible. Not exactly the nicest thing to do, but it makes sense for her character. She's totally blowing this way out of proportion. But then there's the big twist throughout the whole thing. Okay, we all assumed, at least most of us assumed, that Derringdo was fictional in this universe. That it was just something out of A.K. Yearling's imagination. You know, some people theorized that it may have been based on actual events. I theorized that for a while. But I never assumed that it was actually written by Derringdo. And A.K. Yearling is just a pen name so that she won't get bothered by fangirls, like, you know, exactly what happens in this episode. Rainbow Dash, when she finds out, she totally flips out, she geeks out, and she can't focus like she normally can, so she keeps bumbling throughout the episode, and it's very funny to watch. And the rest of the characters are surprised too, because they didn't expect this. The only thing I find confusing about this is how nobody would know that any of that stuff in the Derringdo books could be real. I mean, I'm pretty sure someone somewhere knew that Alioto really existed. And, you know, could ask a few awkward questions. But maybe Alioto lives in the shadows and doesn't interact with a lot of ponies. That's another thing I liked. Alioto was a great villain. He was a really good villain for the Derringdo books and Reader and Weep. But this episode, he's the full villain of the whole episode. You know that he's a real threat. And he really is a very good villain, and I'm really glad that he's now part of their rogues gallery, because there's potential to use him again. And now he has a reason to go after the main six. They had involvement in stopping him this time. Though he primarily blames Derringdo for obvious reasons. And Derringdo's dialogue, oh my goodness. Awesome dialogue. Like when Rainbow Dash tries to talk her into taking her on this mission so that she can help out. Derringdo comes up with some very rational reasons why she can't trust others, because it's largely based on because there's a lot of secrets she has to figure out, and she can't necessarily trust anyone who just comes along. And yeah, of course she says, "I work alone," into that badass voice, and a hilarious line she delivers when Alioto tells her, give me the ring. You know, Lord of the Rings reference, obviously. She says, oh, you know I love you, Alioto, but I would have to propose first. Oh my goodness. Yeah. The episode was great. The dialogue was really well structured. Villain set up very nicely. And the conflict really well paced. Every stage felt correct. The only thing where I felt it weakened was at the end when Rainbow Dash was writing in the journal the moral. It wasn't badly executed, but it felt like there were some sentences missing from a paragraph. You know, I expected it to open with Dear Diary or Dear Journal, but I guess they wanted to try to get away from that, so it didn't feel exactly like the letters to Celestia, and I can definitely respect that. Here it felt a little awkward at first. Maybe after repeat viewings, it'll feel a little bit smoother, because I know it's coming. It probably could have been presented a little bit better. The moral itself is not a bad one, that admiring your heroes is a good thing, but you shouldn't let your admiration of your heroes keep you from realizing what makes you good. Because all throughout, Rainbow Dash can't stop tooting her own horn and patting herself on the back. She just thinks she's nothing because she knows how awesome Derringdo is. Derringdo is her idol. She couldn't take it. She couldn't see herself being anywhere. And Twilight actually tells her, don't sell yourself short, Rainbow. You're amazing. She has valid reason to be proud of what she's done. I mean, she did what was thought impossible. She has saved all of Equestria several times, and now she's even saved the life of her idol. And I love the fact that now Derringdo canonically exists in this universe. It's not just something, a character within the universe made up, being fiction within fiction. Fiction within a fictional story. It's fictional. Oh my god, it's Ponyception! Anyway, well, nothing more I could think of to say. The animation was good. It wasn't quite on par with the last episode. But it may be because there wasn't so much different shading needed in this episode. There could be more consistent lighting, so there didn't need to be a lot of transitions that were in the previous few episodes. And, yeah, all the other characters also were presented well. Pinkie Pie is still a little bit off to me, but she's better in this one than she was in the previous video. She seems more like I remember her, and less centric on parties. Fluttershy is really in her element. I may end up having Fluttershy as one of my favorite characters this season if this keeps up. She's been rather impressive this season. Like, when they realize J.K. Yearling is Derringdo, a bunch of thugs fight her, and they're all wowing at how well she fights, and Fluttershy says, wait, shouldn't we help her? Which is exactly what I was screaming at the screen. Why weren't they helping her right away? So I guess I did have more to say. Applejack doesn't have much to do, but what she does do is fine and fits within her character. Same with Rarity. Not much to do, but what she does do feels relevant and feels in character. I do hope we see more of Derringdo and more of Alioto. I really, really enjoyed this episode. And, well, we're in for another episode that's going to have a lot of Rainbow Dash next week. So stay tuned next week for Flight to the Finish.